What's up, guys? Today's video was supposed to be just like a straight up flea market vlog, but I didn't end up getting as much footage as I wanted to, so I decided I would make this more of like a weekend update vlog. And the truth is, this past weekend I pretty much stayed home for the entirety of it, which I'm fine with. As much as I love traveling, you guys know, maybe, I don't know if you know, Nick and I went to Colorado last week and weekend for a work project. And as much as I love getting out and seeing new things and, you know, all the things that have to do with travel, I am at my core an introvert. And so after I do things like that that are really fun and adventurous, I do like to come home and spend time in my apartment just doing me things. So my job description is sort of shifting right now, and that's scary and nerve-wracking, but also really fun and exciting. And I've noticed that in this switch, or in this sort of transition period, I guess, I've wanted to really change things up and change the way that I work from home. I've noticed in the past couple weeks that my work's sort of been lagging. I haven't been getting as much done or doing things, you know, the way that I feel like they should be done. And I think that's been contributing to my feelings of anxiety, because when you have an idea of what you want to do but it doesn't line up with your lifestyle or what you're actually doing, I think that's really stressful, and maybe some of you can relate to that. It's not a good place to be or a good feeling to have. So in the past, when I felt like I was stuck or not being creative, I would go out of the house and go get some coffee, or maybe just walk around the block, because doing that simple act of like moving or just changing my scenery has really helped me to just sort of get out of the mindset that I was stuck in, if that makes sense. So this weekend I sort of did that, but on a much larger scale. I decided to just like move everything around in our apartment and just change what my scenery was here in this apartment. And I'm so lucky that Nick like literally couldn't care less what I did in here. I mean, obviously, you know, I guess if I did other crazy stuff he would care, but I can move stuff around and he's just like, sure, whatever, like do what you want to do. So that's cool. Thanks, Nick. But anyway, so over the weekend I just sort of decided that I was going to change things up. Before, I had my desk in our living room. If you guys saw my first apartment tour, I had it right behind me. And it was cool when it was right behind me, but it had like the water, like our waters were stacked next to it. I had my big printer right here, like propped up really high. And that's something that I ended up changing, because it's something that I had when it was in the living room too. That was the second place that I ended up moving my desk. I noticed that my desk sort of became a place to corral clutter. And obviously we've gotten rid of a lot of stuff and we've simplified our life, and I think that's so important when it comes to having a space that's really relaxing, is having a space that's not filled with clutter. But when you work from home, I feel like sometimes it's inevitable that your space isn't going to be pristine because you're working on a bunch of projects at once, or at least that's what I do. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, maybe you saw my story where I was just totally taking everything apart and trying to put things back together. And it just felt so good to be able to think creatively and move things around and just really think about what I wanted my dream office space to look like in this tiny apartment that we're in right now. And on Sunday we ended up going to the flea market, and I'll insert that footage right here. Thank you. Okay, we got to the flea market. Spoiler alert, it's already a million degrees, but we're dealing with it. I rearranged some stuff in our living room over the weekend. I'll show you guys, but I have room now for a little tree in the corner by my desk and the window, so I'm hoping to get a little tree. We'll see if they're sold out because we're a little bit late. I think it's like, is it 8:30? A little treat? What time? Oh, I was looking for my phone and I'm vlogging on my phone. Okay. These little schools.
All of it's wrapped up.
Actually, I'm gonna get this one, yeah. Nick, what are you holding?
Alli's tree. I don't know the scientific name of the plant, but it's Alli's tree.
We made it back to the car and we got what we came for, just this tree. Just this tree.
Justice.
We met up with some friends too. Oh yeah, and some subscribers. It's always so fun to see you guys. And I feel like I've been seeing more and more people at the flea market, which is rad. So if you're ever here, definitely say hi to me. Even if I'm a sweaty mess like I am right now, I want to say hi to you. Why don't you lay it down flat? And now I'm making Nick take a picture of me in front of this wall. So if you see this picture on Instagram, know that I went to ridiculous lengths to find this wall to take this picture in front of. Ready? Right here.
Stand on that line. Sure kind of.
Thanks, Nick. So I think Nate Burkus once said that your home should rise up and greet you, something like that. And I feel like that's so true, and I wanted to share this with you guys just to show that you can change things up without spending a ton of money. I didn't spend any money on this new office project other than the tree that I bought from the flea market. But, you know, if things aren't working for you or if you're feeling stuck, just move stuff around and see if that helps. It's honestly one of my favorite things to do. And I hold myself back from it sometimes, but I'm really happy with my office in this space right now. I love that I'm close to windows. As someone who comes from a background of working in retail with no windows and working in an office that didn't have any natural light, I really value that I'm able to work and see outside. I know not everyone has that luxury, obviously. Another thing I wanted to mention is when I had my desk in the living room, which is where it was before, I noticed that I started putting little things up on my big framed picture from Joshua Tree. So I had like a vintage map of Hawaii, some photos, some notes, and it sort of bugged me because it didn't look like it belonged. It looked really cluttered, and when people would come over sometimes I would like take those things down because it like didn't go with the decor that I had in there. But I wanted to be able to look at those. So in this space, I found this little corkboard that I just sort of put up there. And obviously corkboard is not revolutionary. People have these in their offices, right? But what I'm trying to say is, like, if you're changing up your space or if you're trying to try something new, pay attention and keep in mind the things that you're doing and the things that you want, and give yourself a space for that. So for me, I really like having the corkboard because it gives me a space to put my little inspiration things, my vintage map and all that kind of stuff. Make sure that your space works for you, because in the end, that's what matters, is your workspace, and it needs to make you happy. So overall, there's still a bunch of things I need to change. I need to organize the cords for our Wi-Fi behind me, and I want to move my art around in the living room too to make it a little bit more cohesive. But all in all, I'm so happy that I took the time out of my weekend to prioritize what I needed in my workspace. I already feel so much more inspired, so much lighter too, because I am just organized and have this separate space for work, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. So I know this video was a little bit different, very casual. I hope you liked it anyway. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, liking this video if you liked it, and thank you to those of you who are supporting me on Patreon, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!